mean, if you just go to GitHub, you will find like so many clones. GitHub clone, you'll find Spotify clone, you'll find like Stack Overflow clone. I found out like there was a clone for Tinder as well. So I mean, it's the best way of learning something new, right? You just try to understand how it works, how the architecture works, and just try to replicate it. It's the best way out there, right? So that is why I decided to maybe talk about how we can build a YouTube clone, and I think on that way we can learn a few interesting concepts as well, right? Now a little bit about ImageKit. So ImageKit is a media delivery and management platform. Anybody has that expression? Well, I do too. So let me explain. I think most of you might have heard of apps like Swiggy, Zepto, Book My Show. Swiggy, I think we all order, right? Book My Show, we use that to book Coldplay tickets, but we didn't. I mean, these apps are something that we use every day, especially in a city like Bangalore. Excuse me, sorry about my throat. So these apps, essentially what they do is they use ImageKit to kind of store, resize, optimize, and deliver images on their apps, images and videos both, right? So in essence, they also use things like digital asset management solutions that ImageKit has so that their marketing teams can store their graphical assets and they are organized and managed properly across the team, right? So that is what ImageKit does. Did I change your expression to this? I mean, I sort of did. Anyway, let me quickly show you what we will build today. So we have something like a YouTube clone. Exactly, that's what we're building, right? Let me show you a quick demo of what we are going to build today. So if you see this, you see like a YouTube like UI, and by any chance, does anybody know that logo is old, right? Does anybody know which year it's from? Yeah, it's from 2015. It was between 2015 to 17. Also, does anybody know another trivia? Anybody knows what was the first video on YouTube? What was it? What was it called? Yeah, Meet Me at the Zoo. That was by Javed Karim, right? All right. I think a lot of us know about YouTube, so this will be interesting. Let's see what this demo is all about. So let me just refresh. I hope the internet is fine. Yeah. So this is not hard-coded, by the way. I mean, there are some things which are hard-coded. I am a Delulu person, so I hard-coded my subscriber count to 123K. But this data is basically coming from my server, all right? All the thumbnails, all the title, description, everything. It basically has all the features. You can just go to a video, you can open the video, it starts playing. And there are different things as well. So there's this standard quality control. There are controls for sound, for different playback speeds, picture-in-picture mode, full screen mode, so on, right? It is a fully functioning demo, right? So this is what we'll be building. Now, apart from this, there is one more thing which we will talk about, which is the upload. So upload is possibly one of the most essential parts of a system like this, right? You as a creator, you as probably a YouTuber, you would want to upload videos, right? So let's try uploading a video. Let's say I love sunsets. Is it visible, by the way?
Yeah.
All right. Let's say pink sunsets are nice. Let me select a file. I don't know how much time it will take to upload. Oh, it's fast. Great. Let's give it a few seconds. So as we see that the video is uploading, we should get a success message saying that the video is uploaded. And when we scroll back to the home screen, we should see the video right there. Right, so let's just wait for a few seconds. I think there's some internet problem. We are on hotspot, but I think it should be okay. Yeah, we have the video which is uploaded. And we are navigated back to the home screen. Again, network issue causes some CSS issues as well. But if you see the video that we just uploaded, it's here. It says I love sunsets. And it's an 18-second video, which is also something that we calculated. And we can click on this. We can also see that it is, I think I need to reload it. There is some network issue prevalently, but I can play the video as well. And yeah, I think this is also something that works. So let's just get into how we are going to build this, right? Now before that, I would, so basically I want to, focus on the architecture to demo, right? So let's talk about what are some of the important components of a video streaming service like this. So can you guys think of what are the components that we would need to build something like this? Somebody said media server. Yeah, we will need a server. What else?
Block storage.
Block storage, file storage, anything to store videos, right? Some sort of storage. What else? Video. Somebody said video encoder. Who was that? Oh, you. Right. So we need a video encoder as well. I'll talk about what video encoder is. What else? Are we missing an important point? Oh, Video.js. Somebody said Video.js. Who was that? Yeah, you are right. Yeah, we need a player as well. That's true. But a player is embedded onto something, right? What is that? You guys are getting too technical now.
Is it IP?
Again, too technical. Like we need a front end, right, guys? Like we have a server, we have storage, we have database. We need a front end to show it, right? I mean, how would you guys just go and call APIs to stream videos? No, right? So we need a front end. I think most of you were right here. So as any other video streaming service would need, we also need a storage where we can store videos. We need an application server, something like a backend, which can do like a lot of computation, processing, all of those things for us. Very important, we need a front end to show those videos in a YouTube-like layout, or let's say we are not building YouTube, right? We're just building a video streaming service, something like Reels or TikTok, right? So we need a UI again, something like a mobile app or desktop app or something, right? And we need an encoding pipeline. So now, can anybody tell me what is an encoding pipeline, just in case?
To split the video into a different format.
You're almost right. Okay, let me tell you what an encoding pipeline is. So when it comes to videos, right? So videos are pretty heavy in nature, right? These are not like images. These are very heavy. These are like probably they span in the sizes of GBs, sometimes even TVs, right? So if you record an 8K video which spans like an hour, it will easily touch TV, right? So an encoding pipeline does a lot of things for you. So one, it makes sure that it kind of creates different variations of the video, so that let's say you are on a low bandwidth, right? So you want the video, a 4K video, to not play in 4K, but play on something like 360p, right? So you need to create all those variations and store it somewhere. For that, you need an encoding pipeline. Now the other task would be that you want to create a thumbnail, right? So just we saw that, you know, when we uploaded the video, we somehow created a thumbnail, which would otherwise be so complex because you'll have to process the video, bring it in the memory, take out one frame of that video, figure out what frame you need as the thumbnail, right? So all of those things, these are very complex things, right? So all of that happens on an encoding pipeline, and we need that in a particular video streaming service. All the video streaming services work on an encoding pipeline, right? Now, as we already discussed how complex this is, what ImageKit does is, ImageKit sits right at the place where the most complex of the tasks happen when it comes to video streaming and video processing, right? So we sit right at the place where you need a storage and you need an encoding pipeline, right? So you can just focus on the rest of the things, which is your application server, your UI, your user interface, your interactions, animations, so many things, right? So that is where ImageKit helps you. We kind of take care of all the encoding part and all the storage part for you, right? Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so let's just get started with the code, and we'll see how we can use ImageKit to implement something like this. So the first step is setting up the repository, creating your ImageKit account. I don't know if the internet is good enough and if anybody is following with me, but we can just skip that in case. Second is we'll look at how we can handle video uploads from the client side. Third is how we can list videos and the thumbnails. And fourth is I'll talk about the most interesting part, which is adaptive bitrate streaming. It's called ABS, not the ABS that we have in our bikes, right? Just in case if somebody wants to follow this later, there's a QR code. I can wait for 30 seconds, you can scan it. It has the link to the GitHub repo that will act more like a starter pack. I have not coded this at all. It is all from ImageKit's documentation. I can actually show you the documentation and it has all the code. So I've just copy pasted and made sure that we don't waste a lot of time centering a div, doing some UI work, right? I can't center a div even now. So, yeah, I'll just show you the QR code. I'll wait for 30 seconds.
This package is open source or?
All of these packages are open source. There are a number of SDKs that ImageKit provides. But for this particular code, I've just written the code. I've just created a project so that it's easy to start. All right. I think we can move ahead if everybody has done that. Let's go to our code. I'll go to this branch called demo, right? And so we look at the code. This is a standard Next.js app because we want a front end and a back end together, so it just works well. Yeah, so if you notice, this project has like a lot of SDKs already installed. So we have the ImageKit Next package, we have ImageKit. So all of this is already there. So we can just start writing. So the first thing that you see when you open this project would be something like this. If you run this project, if you install the dependencies, this is what we see. Again, I didn't want to make a fool of myself not knowing how to center a div, so I just did some UI work already.
Shimmers.
Sorry?
Those are shimmers, right?
Yeah, these are skeletons, right? So this is what you see here. Now, the first thing that we will do is we will try to make the upload functionality. So if you click on that button, we see that there is a title, there is a description box, but I don't have a place to upload the video, right? There's no button, nothing, right? So how will I upload a video? So let's just go to this file called upload.tsx. Again, from this ImageKit IO Next SDK, we have a component called IKUpload. All we have to do is just use that component and it actually just does the upload work for you. So I'll just quickly uncomment this part of the code and see how this works. So do we have an upload button? We don't have an upload button because we don't have a button. So let me just add a button, right? So now if I add something like I love sunsets, I love sunsets. That's why I'm using that again and again. Pink is good. I love pink as well. Alright, so now we upload the file. So this works, right? So just by adding a button and the IKUpload component, we were able to make the whole upload thing work where you can just select a file from your file system and you can upload it. Now, let me tell you how this works. Sorry. Yeah, so in essence, how uploads work on ImageKit is, we directly, so this project also demonstrates the same, right? So we have two kinds of uploads. We have server-side uploads and we have client-side uploads. Now in a very traditional setup, what you would do is you would select a file from your computer and then send it to probably like a backend of yours, and then from there you will upload it to your storage, whatever S3 or Alibaba, whatever you're using, right? Now that setup has a lot of problems. One, latency, right? Because first you're sending to your server and then to a storage, so it takes a lot of time to do it, right? Second, there might be security issues, right? During the file, during this transfer from your front end to your server and then from there to storage, anything can go wrong, right? There could be failures. So a much better way could be that we could just upload directly from our client, which is from the browser, right? So that is what ImageKit provides you. So in this case, now again, right, because ImageKit as a storage needs to be secure, right? So you can't just allow anybody to upload it, right? So you need some sort of authentication. So we use authentication parameters on the front end itself, which are okay to kind of give out to the user. These are not very sort of secure keys, but they are secure enough so that nobody else can upload to your storage, right? So to do that, the first step would be to generate a secure upload signature. Now how that happens is your UI will call your backend, right? Where you can use ImageKit's SDK to generate a signature, return it back to your front end, and then use that signature as authentication parameter to upload a file to ImageKit. And this is what we'll be doing, right? Let me just go back. Am I getting two sounds? Alright. So here, let's just quickly implement auth. So auth is basically nothing, like I said. There's an auth endpoint. I have already commented because I think I was told that internet would not work. So all you do is you just create an object of ImageKit, like an instance of ImageKit, and then you use this function called getAuthentication parameters to get the token expiry signature and just return it to your front end. That's it. So this is our auth endpoint. Very simple, under 30 lines of code, right? Now coming back to upload, we already have the upload and this already calls that endpoint, so we are good to go. Now a few more things. So this IKUpload component is a very rich component. It gives you like a lot of props as well, so that you can solve for some of the most common problems, right? So let's say let's say there were like a lot of WhatsApp videos, right, that were forwarded. Now I have the same video, you have the same video, it has the same name, right, and we both try to upload it on YouTube. So there will be a problem, right? Same names cannot store in DB, right? So for that, we have a prop called use unique file name. So what it does is it just very simple. In front of the file name, it will just append like a hash, which can make your file name unique. Simple, right? So this is one prop. Again, we need another prop because ImageKit is a storage, right? So you can't really upload everything into the root, right? So you need to tell the folder where you need to upload the file to, right? So there's a folder prop. Now, in a traditional setup, what you would do is you would probably need a DB as well, right? Because you will upload something to the storage, but then you will need something to map that to the user, right? That, okay, this user has uploaded this video. So you need a DB where you will store the link of the video, the title, description, so many other things, right? For simplicity, I'm not using a DB here, but we can use something called custom metadata, which is again a good ImageKit feature. So what it does is, for every file, it stores some key value pairs within the file metadata, right? So that is what custom metadata does. Now, this usually won't just work. You will have to go and configure a custom metadata at ImageKit, like, so I'll just show you. So this is a typical ImageKit dashboard. You will just have to go to, I think, settings, media library, custom metadata. And this is where I've kind of created 3 custom metadata parameters. I don't know if everybody is able to see. I can zoom it a bit. We have title, we have description, and we have ABS ID. So these will act as my DB, right? My, traditional DB. So once you have done that, it is very easy to just, add these fields here, and, I'll just take the values from the form title input box and the description input box, and I think I should be good to go. Let's try if this works. Any other title that you want? Like, I think everybody would be bored by sunsets by now. But we'll just use it anyway. So do you see? I think we should wait for like a couple of seconds. Sorry?
Is the progress bar hard-coded?
No, it's not hard-coded. It actually comes from ImageKit. Yeah, so ImageKit, so the upload API basically tells you how much of the file is uploaded. So it tells you the progress. So let's say your file was of X bytes and Y bytes were uploaded. So we tell you that, okay, that Y bytes are already uploaded. So using that, this progress bar is something that also comes from the component in this user. Sorry? Yeah, so this is how I have the progress bar. Simple. Correct. Oh, how did I get this here? But anyway, our video is uploaded. So if you see, we still have a problem. We don't have the list, right? So let's just implement a list. So again, list implementation is pretty simple. We have a list API, which is nothing but it just calls, so we have again, I told you, right, we have the ImageKit SDK. So we have a function called list files within a particular folder sorted by created descending, right? That's all we have to do. And we just need to return these things in a particular JSON format, and we are done, right? Now, let's see why this was not working. Okay, I have not called this API, right? So let's just call this API. So I'm just calling the /API ImageKit /list because it's my local API, which is in turn calling ImageKit, right, to list the files, and I'm just setting it to the state. So with that, we should be able to see the video that we just uploaded. This was like 15 minutes ago, this was 1 minute ago. But somebody notices something, there's some fault in this. Thumbnails. Yeah, we don't have thumbnails. I mean, any website needs thumbnails, right? It doesn't look good. So now how do we make thumbnails? So we use a powerful ImageKit feature called URL transformations. So in essence, let me tell you, everything around ImageKit revolves within the URL, right? So you can crop, you can resize, you can do anything with the video, with images, with so many things just by changing the URL, right? So in this case, we just do what we do is we just append something called ik thumbnail.jpg in front of our video URL, and that will do all the necessary part for you. It will just pick out the right frame, do the processing, give you a thumbnail, right? So let's just try that quickly. In the list API, right now it was hard-coded thumbnail. Let's just do that. So we have nothing. This is not complicated. This is just file.filepath, and we are just adding ikthumbnail.jpg. And this is just a query parameter to make sure it's the most latest thumbnail that we have, right? Let me save it, and let me go to our demo. We refresh it, and we should have thumbnails. Again, network issue does a lot of things to CSS, but we have the thumbnails, right? So it is very simple to have thumbnails. Otherwise, it would be very complex, right? If you had to do this whole processing yourself. Okay, all right. What is the next thing that we have to do? Let's see. Do we have anything else that we have to do? All right, we have to talk about my favorite part. So this is adaptive bitrate streaming. By any chance, does anybody know what this is? I mean, the name makes it clear. Yeah, you're on the right track, correct. Yeah. So ABS is nothing but it's the most intelligent tool when it comes to video streaming. It's the most intelligent protocol, right? So what it does is it kind of makes sure that it generates these different variants of your particular video. So that again, like I said, right, there could be different things, right? Your users could be using mobile or iPad or probably a laptop or like a big screen, like a projector, right? Or they could be in a low network situations like we are right now, or we could be like having a fiber net at home with 1 Gbps speed, right? But in all these situations, we need to ensure that our user experience doesn't go bad, right? We need to consistently make sure that the video does not buffer and the stream is very seamless, right? So ABS, what it does is it kind of creates these different variations. Now, how do you store that variations and how do you tell the player, let's say VideoJS, somebody said VideoJS, right? So it's a player, or let's say there's a YouTube player. How do you tell that player which version to use, right? So all of that is basically something that we collectively called ABS, right? So now for ABS, we basically use two protocols. One is HLS, one is MPG-, right? These are very commonly used protocols. All the players out there, they support both of these, right? So in essence, what these protocols do is they create a manifest file, right? So manifest file is nothing but a text file. Let's just imagine it to be a text file, which says that, okay, for this bandwidth, for this resolution of the particular user screen, play this particular part of the video, right? This file of the video. So I can show you a typical manifest, what it looks like, right? This is what it looks like. So if you see there's something, you might see some random words, but can you figure out bandwidth, right? Can you figure out resolution? And then you can figure out the link, right? So these are the three things that they store, and now every player is able to read these manifests properly, right? And that is how they know which file to play when, right? Pretty good. Okay, so now let me talk about how we can do this using ImageKit. So again, can anybody guess how we will do this using ImageKit? Yeah, we'll just change the URL, that's it, nothing else, right? So I'll just show you where we have, again, this is again in the documentation. So this was a documentation for thumbnails, by the way, which says just add this and we'll get you a thumbnail, right? This is the documentation for adaptive bitrate streaming, and it says add this thing, ikmaster.m3u8 for HLS protocol. For MPG-, just add this, and we should just do everything for you, create multiple variations, store it in a manifest, serve your manifest, everything, right? So let's just try this quickly and see if this works. Why am I not able to zoom out? Okay, yeah. Let's just try this. So the first thing we will do is, okay, let me tell you how we will do this first. I think I missed that part, right? What we will do is we will first send, so while uploading the video, right, we will just tell ImageKit that, okay, this is what I have to do. I have to create multiple variations of the video. And then, because as you expect, right, this is a very heavy process. So even something like ImageKit will take some time, right? Let's say you have a 4K video, which is like 10 minutes, right? So it's a GB of file, more than a GB, right? So even ImageKit will take some time. So that makes it an asynchronous process, right? So when it comes to asynchronous process, simple API calls don't work, right? So we will have to rely on something more advanced. So in this case, ImageKit uses webhooks. So whenever you give it that, okay, I have to create this particular variation or I have to create these variations, ImageKit will accept it, then it will do the processing, and then it will just say that give me a webhook, give me an API endpoint, and I will send you a request whenever I'm done with the processing, right? And then you can upload, you can update your DB that okay, this particular video is ABS ready, right? So that is what we'll do. Now because I am not on a public server here, so I can't really, have ImageKit call me directly on my local host, right? So for that I'm using something called ngrok, which is just nothing but it will just establish a tunnel from my local 3000 port to the internet, right? And I'll just register that on ImageKit. I've already registered it. So if you see, this is my public URL. I don't know if you can see. Can you see this URL? This rapidly amazing hair. I'm not a hair, but okay. So this is what it is registered. And now if you see, I just said that, okay, whenever I upload and there is like a transformation that does post-upload, just give me those webhooks, right? I'm just configuring that. And now we can go back to our code. So now there are two things here that we want to do. First is during the upload, we tell the ImageKit, this is the way we tell ImageKit that, okay, after the upload, so which is why we use the keyword post, do this transformation. So do this transformation as in, we need to create an ABS on the protocol HLS for these particular variations. So we need a video which is 240p, a 360p, 480p, 720p, and a 1080p. Right? These are different variants we need. So this is how we tell, just a simple one-line code that we tell ImageKit that okay, these are the things that we want to do after we upload the video, right? Now on the webhooks part, let's just quickly see. Yeah, so this is the webhook file. Now in this again, it's a one-line code, two-line because I like indentation. So as soon as the, so we basically send a webhook called upload post transformation success. Again, this is mentioned in the docs. I have just taken it directly from the docs. I don't know where the docs are. Are they open? Okay, they're not open. I'll just show you quickly where they are. We have webhooks, and so I'm just trying to tell you that how easy it is to implement something like this. So this is upload post transformation success, right? And on clicking on this, I can actually see what data also ImageKit sends us, right? So this is what exactly I've referred to. And so we just check that and we update the file details saying that, so we had one field called ABS ready, right? So we are just updating that to be true so that we know that, okay, this particular video is ready and we can serve it via ABS, right? So this part is done. What is remaining? The serving part, right? So we need to be able to serve this via ABS. I think we can do that as well. Let's see. We have figured out the upload part. We've figured out this part. The list part is done. Details. Yeah, this part. So this is the details API, which basically gets called when you open a particular video. So let's say this was the video that we opened, right? Yeah, this was the video that we opened. So this is a details page for a video, right? So basically this is the details API that gets called. Now in a very traditional setup, when there is no ABS, we are just serving the video from the file path. So let's say that the video name was sunset.mp4, we are just serving that, right? But when there is a ABS ready flag, which is true, we just need to append, like I said, right? We just need to append ikmaster.m3uid in front of it. That's it, right? And we are serving from this URL now. And now on saving, if I go and if I now upload a video, I hope I should be able to show you how webhooks come in real time as well. Let's go and upload something. Any title suggestions? Sunrise. Sunrise, okay. For sunrise, we'll put a sunset video. Right? Select file and upload a sunset video. And yeah, we should wait for a few seconds again.
What happens if it fails after through?
What fails? Upload fails.
Yeah, upload fails after.
So if the upload fails, we will not be doing any encoding, right? And maybe we can just show different error things, like maybe the user needs to re-upload the video or something, right? But then there are different ways of handling that as well. So I don't know if you have heard of Mux. Mux allows partial uploads and resumable uploads. So you can use that. Yeah, so the video is uploaded. So ideally in this case, the transformation should have started, which means the ABS work should have started. And now all we need to do is wait for a couple of seconds and see whether we receive the webhook from ImageKit saying that it's generated. Oh, we have the webhook already, right? So if you see, it's the same thing for the same video. Just another sunset was a video, and it just says that we requested for ABS and it is ready. It is successful, right? So now if we reload this page, we should ideally be able to see ABS working, right? So you see different qualities, right? So this is what is being, enabled by ABS. I can show you if this works as well. So on 240p, I think it should be a little hazy. Is this hazy? Can you see haziness? Or
Yeah.
oh, you can see it, right? So the shadow is a little hazy, right? But when we shift to something like 1080, I don't know if 1080 would work on my hotspot. But in essence, it just works because the player is showing it. If it was not ABS supported, the player would not show it. This is a standard VideoJS player. It's very much open source, and I think one of the most popular libraries for video playbacks. If anybody of you has worked in videos, right? So I think we have ABS working as well, right? So I think we are done, and we are right about on time. We are on 31 minutes. So yeah, I think 1 minute was because of the internet. But ideally, implementing something like this would have taken like a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of computation. But we saw that ImageKit can actually fit in right and do everything for us, and we can just make a video streaming platform like this in under 30 minutes, right? I hope this would have given you some gist of how videos work, how different qualities work, how you can upload videos, how you can store videos, how ImageKit fits right in, and that will be all from my side. If anybody has any questions, we'll be open.
Yeah, I would like to know how this thumbnail part is working. For example, you are uploading the video over there. Is it particular timestamp it is taking, and then that particular frame that we are picking it up?
The thumbnail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
let's say,
thumbnail,
for example, certain video for a certain timestamp, it might have the black screen also, or else, let's say white screen also. How they are calculating it for the thumbnail, how they are preparing for it.
Correct.
Is
correct.
there any logic?
Correct. So if you see, can you see this? So by default, this takes in the first frame of the video, right? By default. But then if you want a thumbnail from a specific point in time, we have examples for that as well. So it is again something that you just change in the URL, and you will be able to do that. So if you see this, can you see SO-5, right? This thing. So this is what tells you that, okay, take the thumbnail from the 5th second in the video, right? So you can basically customize this in any way you want. You can just pick out any particular timestamp from the video and make a thumbnail out of it, right? Just by using the URL.
By default, it takes the first frame.
Yeah, by default, it takes the first frame. Any other questions?
Hi, Harshit. My question is regarding with respect to while the video is getting played, right? When the player will be able to detect, the biggest problem that I see across a video domain is when the player is playing and the network fluctuate, right? How does the transition from a high-end to low-end spectrum, which YouTube handles it very beautifully, right? And it also makes sure that if user has selected some specific resolution, it does not override it, even when the network goes up. Right, because it is maintained that user action is always supreme, and then comes network fluctuation. So does the video player, which is being controlled by ImageKit, does that allows that kind of flexibility to maintain the network?
So for this particular demo, what we used was something which was an open source video player. It was called VideoJS, which has a parameter called auto. So if you see, by default, the quality is always set to auto. And they are intelligent enough to read the manifest file and figure out your bandwidth and your resolution, and then adapt based on that. But then there were some issues in this as well. So we are in process of creating our own open source video player as well, which will handle these things more gracefully, right? There are already some other video players as well which handle it much better. But I think so far, VideoJS was one of the most acclaimed open source library out there. We are just building something on top of VideoJS.
Good. And one more question regarding the format of the videos that we upload, right? So there are a lot of MP4, WMP, AVI, right? So does it give you a flexibility to make it because the video players, when you upload it, user will upload any file format. Does the ImageKit supports a standard format that comes?
Right. So I think I need to tell you two things. Maybe I can show you those things as well. Do we have time? Like 2 minutes? Yeah. Okay, so we have 2 minutes. I can show you that. Let's try to load this video again. Oh, wait. Are we able to load it again? All right. Or maybe I need to use a video which is without ABS. I think I will be able to show you that better. Okay. Where is the? There's something wrong with the loading. Oh yeah, okay, okay. I'll just tell you, what happens essentially, and then maybe we can talk about this later as well. But so by default, so there are multiple formats, right? There's MKV, there's MP4, and so many other, right? AVI. But all these formats are not suitable for delivering on the web, right? And it happens with both videos and images, right? So images, somebody would upload PNG or something, right? So by default, ImageKit makes sure, so whenever you upload a video to ImageKit and serve it from there, we make sure that we convert it to the most supported format, which is, by the way, WebP for images and WebM for videos. So by default, it leads to a great reduction in size while maintaining the visual quality, right? So that is something that we do automatically from our side. But again, you can customize this again using just the URL parameters. So I can quickly show you the documentation of how that happens as well. We have transform and adapt, video transformations overview. Yeah, so I think there is a parameter called format here. Search it. Maybe it's not here. But yeah, we do have an option, which it's just F hyphen. You can just select whatever file you want the format to be in, and it will just be served on that format. Right?
Thank you.
I think we are good to go, right? Any other questions can be taken up later. Right.
And you could, in a way, upload a lot of like malicious scripts, right? So how do you handle the security analysis?
Right. So I think this was one of the things that we kind of took care of very initially. So when we were building ImageKit. So again, because these are URLs and they could be accessed by anyone, somebody could just probably change the URL, do a lot of transformation, a lot of processing, and that would cost you on your account, on your ImageKit account, right? Because it's a quota, right? So for that we have something called signed URLs. So a signed URL is basically a URL that you generate from your side, and now it cannot be changed by a user, right? Because we are signing it by a certain key, like a salt, right? So it cannot be changed by anybody, and even if they change it, we will not serve that particular asset on that URL, right? So a URL can only be generated by you if it's a signed URL. So this basically adds that security layer that you want, right? Where the control is still with you, it's not with your user, right? Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I just read about signed URLs.
Yeah. So yeah, documentation has it. You can just search for it. I think we should be good to go. Any other questions? We can. Oh, there are so many questions. Can we do this later?
Yeah, we can take it in the break.
Yeah, so we can take it in a break. I think there is samosa also. I think I heard. So we can have samosa and we can have this discussion, right? All right. Thanks everyone.